And welcome to the championship game of the Carmel sectional. It's the Carmel Greyhounds and the Westfield Shamrocks, and this pregame show is brought to you by Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hi, everybody. Howard Kelman with Dave Nicholson. Dave, we've got a great matchup for this game.
Well, if you started out at the beginning of the sectional, Howard, and you say who's going to be in the finals, you probably would pick Westfield and Carmel. They have the best won and loss record coming into the tournament, and we haven't had any upsets in this sectional. They're very unusual, and I'm sure Carmel's favored tonight, and if Westfield wins, it would be an upset. But that usually happens in tournament play. And the other thing, they're playing for something tonight. There's only about 4 or 5 times in your career that you're playing for a trophy or a championship. So a little bit special effort tonight when you've got a chance to win the sectional and win the trophy.
Very well said by Hall of Fame coach Dave Nicholson. The pregame show brought to you by Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll have our scene setter, Carmel against Westfield. This is the high school basketball game of the week on TV 40. Our scene setter brought to you by Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We are at Carmel High School, but Carmel is the visiting team. So, Dave, let's start with Carmel and their key players.
Okay, for the 21-2 Greyhounds, the key players, you start with the 2 guards. Number 10, Pete Suter. He's a 6'5" junior. He averages 13 points a ball game. His running mate at guard, number 11, Brian Waddell. He's a 6'7" senior, and he averages 16 points a game. 13 and 16 doesn't sound like big numbers, but Carmel is a low-scoring team. They only average 56 points a game, but remember, they've won 21 games. Keys to the game for the Greyhounds tonight. They need to slow Smith down. That would be number 1, Braden Smith for Westfield. He got 41 points last night. Lockdown defense. If they don't stop the shooting, particularly the 3-point shooting of Westfield, it could be a long night. Force turnovers. Carmel likes to steal the ball and go see it. You watch them chase to the basket and get an easy putback. Let's look at the starters for Carmel. Number 3, he's a guard, Connor Joya. He's a 5'8" senior. Another guard, number 4, Josh Wack. He's a 6'1" junior. Third guard, number 10, Pete Suter, a 6'5" junior. And number 11, a guard, Brian Waddell, a 6'7" senior. And in the middle, the center, number 33, Charlie Williams, a 6'10" junior. Now let's take a look at the Westfield Shamrocks. A fine record, 18 wins, only 4 defeats this year. In the 2 guards again carry the offense. Number 1, Braden Smith, 6'1" junior, averaging 21 points a game. And I just mentioned he put up 41 points in the semifinals last night. And number 22 at guard, Cam Hafner, a 6'2" junior. Cam is averaging 12 points a game. Look at the keys for the Westfield Shamrocks. They must attack with patience. Carmel, doesn't matter how slow you go, they play really good defense, and you may have to work really hard to penetrate it to get an easy shot. The Shamrocks must get at least half of the rebounds in this ball game, and they stop drives. You look at Suter and you look at Waddell, they like to drive the basketball. Let's look at the starters for Westfield tonight. Number 1 at guard, Braden Smith, a 6'1" junior. Number 3 at guard, Benji Welch, a 6'1" senior. Number 22 at guard, Cam Hafner, a 6'2" junior. And number 20 at forward, Matt Penley, a 6'1" senior. And number 23 at forward, Nick DePasquale, a 6'1" junior.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Our scene setter brought to you by Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll be back with the start of tonight's championship game of this Carmel sectional. This is the high school basketball game of the week on TV 40. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Valparaiso University. At Valparaiso University, your full potential receives their total commitment. It'll be Charlie Williams at 6'10" and Matt Penley at 6'1". Jumping center, and we've made this point before, we'll make it again in previous games. Westfield does not have much height. So Williams 9 inches taller than Penley, and he easily controls the tip And here is Carmel, and that's Connor Joya. How about this Westfield defense?
Shamrocks come right out in the man-to-man. And again, inside, you're going to see a big matchup with Pasquale with Williams. Williams is 6'10", and Di Pasquale is only 6'1".
And Di Pasquale is strong.
Very physical player. He's been used to guarding bigger players all year.
Connor Joya in close, misses it. And there's Williams at 6'10", grabbing that offensive board. Pete Suter is number 10.
They're sagging off, helping on Williams in the middle, but they've got to get the ball in there. He has such a height advantage. You would think that would be a great tool.
Suter off the dribble. No, and the rebound to Braden Smith. And keep an eye on him. He is one terrific player. The three did not go by Hafner, Cam Hafner.
Long rebound, and Di Pasquale corralled it.
Here's Braden Smith averaging better than 21 points per game, and a junior.
The one thing you don't want to do against Carmel, you don't want to get behind, because they'll spread the court out and they're in no rush whatsoever. So you need to stay at least even or stay ahead early in the ballgame.
Brian Waddell grabs the rebound. Here's Connor Joya over to Josh Wack. We have played a minute and a half, no score. And the three by Brian Waddell, the 6'7" senior.
Excellent three-point shooter. And as you saw in the semifinal game last night, he loves to take it to the basket and throw it down.
First 3 points of the game. Here's Braden Smith getting a pick from Di Pasquale, going the other way. And the three is an air ball by Benji Welch. And here come the Greyhounds on the Indiana Members Credit Union scoreboard. Carmel ahead 3-0. We've played 2 minutes. Championship game of the Carmel sectional. There's Waddell along the baseline. Nice move by Charlie Williams.
Showed a little bit of strength there, playing in through the defense. He's also, Charlie Williams can hit that 15-foot shot there in what they call a short corner, about 15 feet out on the baseline.
And a beautiful move, a driving one-hander by Braden Smith. And Smith and Cam Hafner, both juniors, can really shoot. And Smith has just great court presence. Here's Josh Wack over to Pete Suter. Wack for three. He doesn't shoot much, and he hits it. He is now 7 of 14 from three-point land this season.
Now he's 46%, so he doesn't shoot often from the three line, but he's very accurate from there.
Smith again. Oh, in close. He saves it into the hands of Matt Penley. And he lost the ball. Zionsville Eye Care congratulates Eagles basketball for a great season and continued success. Zionsville Eye Care proudly serves Zionsville and surrounding region with a tradition of quality service built on a foundation of patient convenience and satisfaction. Zionsville Eye Care experts are focused on you. Carmel ahead 8-2. We approach the halfway point of the first quarter. Suter. And you've talked about the Greyhounds, how patient they are.
They're patient, and I know Suter and Waddell are listed as guards, but they'll go in and post you up down low.
Great defensive play by Benji Welch. And the short jump did not go by Hafner. And Josh Wack comes away with the basketball. Good play. And they're claiming a foul should have been called there, but none was.
A lot of activity around the basketball, and Coach Osborne certainly thought it was a foul, and the activity was directly in front of him. He had a good look at it.
Charlie Williams deep, and they call an offensive foul on him. Do you need some hope and encouragement this year? The Mercy Road family of churches is here for you with in-person and online worship services. Check out a Mercy Road church near you, mercyroad.church.
That last call is one that they're calling more and more of anymore, because the defender, when he gets contact, is going down like he's been hit by a truck, and the officials are buying into it. I think they're calling too many charges down there.
Braden Smith got the step, and he fires it outside. He was in no position to shoot. He can improvise. And now he'll shoot a three. Swish. Oh,
That was guarded very well. He was kind of off balance, but he corrected it with his hand motion and nothing but net.
Carmel 8, Westfield 5, a little over 3 minutes left first quarter. There's Waddell. He got the step and he got the bucket.
And it looked like he got fouled on the arm going to the basket as well.
Smith again, and there's got to be some kind of call there. They'll stay right here. And Andy Morkia, there's a fresh lineup, the Telluride. The K5 has replaced the Optima and the redesigned Sorrento. Andy Moore, Kia in Avon. Joe Capitan, great general manager, and Jesse and Lorraine and that great crew. Andy Moore, Kia in Avon.
Both of these ball clubs are really safe with the basketball. They don't turn it over much at all. The Westfield turns it over 9 times and Carmel only 8.5, so really, really take care of the ball.
Matt Penley was in close, didn't score, and here are the Greyhounds. Here's Josh Wack. On the Indiana Members Credit Union scoreboard, Carmel ahead 10-5. This is the championship game of the Carmel sectional.
Nice drive by Joya.
And he hits Connor Joya. Connor Joya, and with 2:25 left in the the Greyhounds ahead 12-5. Here's Smith. Oh, what a move. What a move by Braden Smith. He can do it outside and he can do it inside, and just a junior.
I tell you one thing to keep an eye on as the game goes along. It won't happen in the first half, but halfway through the second half, third quarter, beginning of the fourth, you might see a little fatigue out of Westfield. They played so hard last night against Noblesville, and they had to play the late game.
We'll pause for these words. This quarter brought to you by Valparaiso University. Your full potential receives their total commitment. This quarter is brought to you by Valparaiso University. Your full potential receives their total commitment. Under 2 minutes left in the quarter, Braden Smith has kept Westfield in the game. Charlie Williams is deep in that lane.
He's drawing a double team, so the guys on the perimeter got to be ready. He can throw it back out and get him a good look from the 3 line.
That's on Matt Penley.
Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling replay. Nice drive, and you see Matt Penley reach around with his left arm and pick up the personal foul.
And they called it on the floor prior to the shot.
That was a correct call. He was on the way to the basket.
Here is Josh Wack. Minute and a half left in the quarter. Greyhounds lead by 5. Out to Waddell, spinning. He's got a good mid-range jumper, and he hits it. And he looks very sharp. He's averaging better than 15 points a game.
Well, that's his 7th point here in the first quarter. He's ready to go tonight. But you see how patient Carmel is. They don't care how long it takes to get a good shot. They'll wait till they get what they want, and they usually score.
Smith looked one way, Braden Smith, and threw it the other way. And we're under a minute left in the quarter. Smith for 3. No. Rebound, Pete Suter.
Probably take the last shot. We've got 45 seconds to go in the first quarter, and Carmel doesn't get in a hurry anyway, so I suspect with a 14-7 lead, be one shot taken. You would expect either Suter or Waddell to be the one to make the final move to the basket.
And we'll tell you, at Valparaiso University, your full potential receives their total commitment. Visit valpo.edu to learn or apply your future and get going. Valpo. "12 seconds left in the quarter. Connor Joy to Pete Suter. There was some contact, no call, and he hits.
They worked that to perfection, run the clock down, and Suter gets an easy shot.
A great first quarter for the Greyhounds. This first quarter brought to you by Valparaiso University. Visit valpo.edu to apply or learn more and put your future into motion. The score after 1, Carmel 16, Westfield 7. Now let's go to Coach Iso for the IU Basketball Minute Roundup. Tonight's second quarter brought to you by Westfield Tire and Muffler, offering reliable vehicle repair service at affordable prices. Urban Air Adventure Park open in Noblesville. Let the kids fly through the park on their Skyrider, take on their climbing walls, or reach new heights on their trampolines. It's the ultimate indoor playground for your whole family. Go to urbanairnoblesville.com to reserve your spot today. Urban Air, let them fly.
Well, the pace of the first quarter definitely favors Carmel. And Westfield is exactly what you didn't want to have happen. You trail by 9 points. If you get behind Carmel, they go even slower, if you believe it or not.
Braden Smith hits again. Now, how many of the 10 Westfield points does he have?
He's got them all.
All 10 of them. That's what I thought.
He's got them all. Nobody else is marked. Braden Smith, 10, and Carmel, 16.
There's Charlie Williams. He's deep and he scores. Nice pass to him down low.
Excellent lead pass. You called it. He gave them a target with his hand. The passer led him away from the defense. The passer makes all the difference in the world. You don't want to throw it to the guy. You want to throw it away from the defense.
And that ball's turned over. We're heading into the air conditioning tune-up season. Have you scheduled your tune-up appointment? Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has a spring tune-up special for $69. Visit summersphc.com. Learn more and be guaranteed your family will stay cool this summer. On the Indiana Members Credit Union scoreboard, Carmel by 8. Orm misses. Sam Orm, a follow by Waddell, and a foul.
Sam Orm is only a sophomore. He's 6'7" tall. As we watch the replay on the Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling replay down inside, Waddell, good strong rebound with two hands, and he goes up and draws the foul against
Hoosier Village in Zionsville, the premier retirement community in central Indiana, supporting all levels of care. It's a nonprofit, and they opened 80 new independent and assisted living apartments this week. Learn more about everything Hoosier Village has to offer. Visit HoosierVillage.com. 6:40 left, second quarter. A very special hello to J.R. Gaylor, Executive Director, Associated Builders and Contractors, Merritt Shop Construction. J.R. lives in Noblesville. And a big fan, and he's been the executive director, done a great job for many years with Associated Builders and Contractors. Charlie Williams with a great play.
There was a deflection there by Joya and then a block by Williams. And that's one reason Carmel is so hard to beat. They play very, very good team defense.
Suter missed the jumper. And here is Smith. Carmel's got a 10-point lead. Smith's got all 10 Westfield points. He's got that ball a long time. And he's determined. No, he follows his own shot. Finds the open man. Cam Hafner, no. And Hafner, they want him to get going. He's an excellent shooter. There's Cam. There's Smith. He got the step. And a whistle and a foul.
Nice drive there by Braden Smith. Summers Plumbing, Heating, Cooling going to show it to you again. Left-handed dribble. He leans into the defense just enough to draw the contact, and that foul was on Pete Suter, his first personal.
Trust Westfield Tire and Muffler to repair your vehicle. Their certified auto service repair technicians have years of experience with everything your vehicle might need, from oil changes to a complete engine overhaul. Find Westfield Tire and Muffler, 199 Maple Street in Westfield, on social media and at westfieldtire.com. Andy Moore Toyota on US 36 in Avon. What a selection of vehicles they have. That's where we got our forerunner. Andy Moore Toyota, Ben Mendoza, and Chris and Stephanie and that great crew will take care of your automotive needs. Andy Moore Toyota in Avon.
Smith knocked down one of those two free throws, and in the ball game for Westfield is Luke Van Dyke. He's 6'5", and that's probably to counteract big Charlie Williams. He matches up better with him.
Great defensive play by Smith. There's Hafner. He's got it. He can shoot, and he showed it there. And here's a timeout. Timeout. This quarter is brought to you by Westfield Tire and Muffler. Experience repairing all makes and models of cars, trucks, and vans. Carmel leads by 6 on the high school basketball game of the week on TV 40. This second quarter is brought to you by Westfield Tire and Muffler. Experience repairing all makes and models of cars, trucks, and vans. Hoosier Village in Zionsville, the premier retirement community in central Indiana, supporting all levels of care. They opened 80 new independent and assisted living apartments this week. Learn more about Hoosier Village. Visit HoosierVillage.com. Andy Moore Avon Nissan on US 36. 5 minutes from Avon High School, close to 465. It's the #1 Nissan dealership in the greater Indianapolis area. Pat Hurst, Aaron Richardson, Mike and Nick and the great crew at Andy Moore Avon Nissan. That's where we got our Maxima. Drove it here tonight. Terrific dealership, Andy Moore Avon Nissan. So now, with a couple of buckets, a 20-10 lead has been cut to 20-14.
Well, I think that's what Ryan Osborne, the coach of Carmel Greyhounds, had in mind. He probably wanted to get the ball, and he did, down to take advantage of Charlie Williams' size in there.
Ball was knocked away from Williams. He's saying, wait a minute, I didn't touch it last. It was knocked away from me, he's claiming, and I think they reversed the call, Dave.
I think they're making the correct decision. I think Charlie Williams got the ball knocked loose, but I don't think anybody else touched the basketball.
Right.
So it would stay with Carmel. I think the officials got it right.
There is Pete Suter over to Connor Joya.
Everybody that plays Carmel tries to speed them up, but it just doesn't work.
Williams back out to Joya. The three didn't go. Good offensive board by Pete Suter in the right place at the right time, and that's determination.
Well, he knows how to play the game. He knows where the ball's coming off the rim. He follows it. He anticipates. He gets into the right position at the right time.
14 for Carmel is Sam Orm. This is Connor Joya, and the Greyhounds displaying that patience that they're known for.
Yeah, Brian Waddell missed 5 games, and while he was out, Orm filled in for him.
How about Charlie Williams with a left hand there? And he is such an improved player over earlier in the season, Dave.
Little hook shot. He's going to get better and better. He's going to get stronger before next year, and going to be a real force down in the paint.
And the ball turned over and picked up by Pete Suter. And the Greyhounds in no great hurry.
You notice after that timeout by Coach Osborne, Carmel got a little more serious on defense.
Well, a basket by Connor Joya. He tripped on the way, but no foul called, and he got the basket. Braden Smith races up court. Here's a blocking foul. Thanks to Jets Pizza in Carmel for providing our crew fantastic pizzas. For the best deep dish and hand-tossed pizzas, complete with flavored crust, it's Jets Pizza. Go to jetspizza.com. Proprietors Larry and Donna Cohen of Norley Investments are big supporters of high school sports. Norley Investment, an institution in downtown Indianapolis. Larry, a Broad Ripple graduate, and Donna, a Kokomo graduate. There is Smith missing a 3, and Whack with a rebound.
Not many fouls being called. That last foul was on Brian Waddell, his first. The Greyhounds have 4 team fouls. Westfield only has 3.
.245 left in the half.
If you're playing Carmel, you certainly have to play defense for long possessions. They move the ball very well from side to side, make the defense work, and that wears on you over the course of the game.
And they work it right side. They're in no hurry. 2:25 left in the half. That's Pete Suter with the ball, guarded by Benji Welch.
It's kind of what happened in the first game between these two teams. Carmel ended up beating Westfield 54-30, but Carmel got an early lead, and then they basically just slowed the game down. They possessed the basketball 70% of the time.
Ball knocked out of bounds. Westfield Tire and Muffler, your Westfield Goodyear dealer, offering reliable vehicle repair services at affordable prices. They repair all makes and models of cars, trucks, and vans. Find Westfield Tire and Muffler at 199 Maple Street in Westfield on social media, or find them online at westfieldtire.com. Timeout. This quarter is brought to you by Westfield Tire and Muffler. Experience repairing all makes and models of cars, trucks, and vans. The Greyhounds by 10 on the high school basketball game of the week on TV 40. This quarter is brought to you by Westfield Tire and Muffler. Experience repairing all makes and models of cars, trucks, and vans. Andy Moore Toyota on US 36 in Avon. Minutes from Avon High School, close to 465. What an incredible selection of vehicles at Andy Moore Toyota in Avon. That's where we got our forerunner, Ben Mendoza. And Chris and Stephanie and the management and the sales crew will take great care of you. Andy Moore Toyota in Avon.
Well, if you're Westfield, you'd like to play a little quicker, but you can't take bad shots. All that will happen. Carmel will go farther ahead. So they're still setting screens, still attacking, particularly Smith.
Partially blocked, but Smith's got it. Josh Wack defending him. Wack's a good defensive player. Work it right side, and Luke Van Dyke missed the jumper. And Will Leary comes away with it for the Greyhounds with 1.5 minutes left in the first half. Greyhounds by 10. They led by 9 at the quarter.
You mentioned Will Leary. He's another excellent three-point shooter, 38%, and he's shot several of them this year.
And we're down to 1.5 minutes left in the half. And the patient Greyhounds, good look. Suter three, and he's got it. Pete Suter. Check that. It was
Leary.
Will Leary.
Yep.
Will Leary hits the three, and he's a good three-point shooter.
Yeah, that's the young man I just mentioned.
He's now 24 of 60, 40% from three-point land this year. There's Smith at the other end. And he slips, but he got rid of the ball.
Yeah, good no call. There was no trip there.
Off the dribble, Hafner. No. And a good rebound by Pete Suter.
And we're looking at the last shot with 30 seconds to go here in the first half.
And we'll tell you that Indiana Members Credit Union is a local full-service financial institution and a proud sponsor of WHMB TV 40 Sports. They're our scoreboard sponsor, Indiana Members Credit Union.
And again, you're going to see the preference would be either Waddell or Suter with about 4 or 5 seconds to go.
Now you got 5 seconds, time to make the move.
Wack's going to shoot it.
Wack for three, no. Rebound Hafner. And that's the end of the first half. The second quarter has been brought to you by Westfield Tire and Muffler. Find them online at westfieldtire.com. The score at halftime, Carmel 27, Westfield 14. Now let's go to Coach Iso in the high school sports roundup.
Tonight's halftime is brought to you by Urban Air Adventure Park in Noblesville, Indiana. Let the kids fly. Go to urbanairnoblesville.com to reserve your spot today. On the Indiana members scoreboard, not a lot of scoring. Greyhounds 27-14 for the Westfield Shamrocks. Let's take a look at who did that scoring here in the first half. For the Greyhounds, Brian Waddell takes it to the basket. He goes through the contact and lays it in, and then he steps out and buries the three. And then down on the baseline, big Charlie Williams makes a one dribble move, a nice touch to the basket. He had 6 points there early on. On the other end, it's all Braden Smith. Braden hits another three, a deep three. Now this next shot's degree of difficulty is really strong. He leans back and kind of just wrist it, but he had enough follow through on it. He felt like he was fouled. Braden had 11 of the 14 points for Westfield in that first half. This halftime tonight was brought to you by Urban Air Adventure Park in Noblesville, Indiana. Let the kids fly. Go to urbanairnoblesville.com to reserve your spot today. Stay with us. Low scoring ball game, only a 13-point margin, and with the three-point shot in the picture, that doesn't take long to disappear. Stay with us. We'll be back with the third period in just a moment.
Tonight's third quarter is brought to you by Hoosier Village in Zionsville, the premier retirement community in central Indiana. We're headed into the air conditioning tune-up season. Have you scheduled your tune-up appointment? Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has a spring tune-up special for $69. Visit summersphc.com and learn more about Summer Special and be guaranteed your family will stay cool this winter. Okay, period number 3. Dave, your impressions of the first half?
Well, Carmel's completely controlling the tempo, and they're not giving Westfield the three-point looks. If you know, you and I have seen them 3 or 4 times this year. They live with the three-point shot, and they're just not being open from the outside. The great defense by the Greyhounds. The one thing I said you don't want to do, don't get behind Carmel because they're going to shut the game down. Well, Westfield has let that happen.
And Charlie Williams is deep, and he scores. And we want to thank Jim Inskeep, the athletic director here at Carmel High School. It's always a pleasure to come here. We've spent 3 nights here this week at the sectional. Thanks to Jim. He does a great job. Terrific person. Di Pasquale. No. And the rebound to Brian Waddell. Jeff Elliott, who heads our production crew, our executive producer, handling a camera tonight. A little bit to our left. Master of all trades. Oh, beautiful pass down low. And the bucket by Williams after the pass from Goya.
You mentioned earlier that Charlie Williams had really improved. One thing he's improved on is catching the basketball. Now that sounds crazy, but a big guy sometimes doesn't. You got to have good hands.
He looks like a completely different player, and he is a junior. Waddell, no, and the rebound to the hands of Hafner. Oh, Smith didn't score. He was off balance. Here comes Pete Suter with Joya on his right. Down to Charlie Williams, running the court beautifully.
We said up front we thought Williams had to be an important part of it because he's so much taller than any player on the court. And Carmel's doing a nice job of finding him, giving him some easy baskets, and he's handling it well.
Benji Welch very off balance. He draws a foul.
Somebody's got to come up with some offense other than Braden Smith. Summers Plumbing, Heating, Cooling and Heating. And nice drive, and that foul was on Connor Joya. That's his second personal.
At Valparaiso University, your full potential receives their total commitment. Visit valpo.edu to learn or apply and put your future into motion.
Benji Welch knocks down both free throws.
We've played 2 minutes of the third quarter, and the Greyhounds have got a 15-point lead. Connor Joya.
We said many times what makes them very difficult to guard is they're very safe with the ball.
Brian Waddell with a beautiful spin move to the hoop.
Waddell now has 11 points in the ball game.
Are you surprised at the big differential, Dave, in the score?
Not really, because Carmel, if they get ahead of you early in the ball game, they just shut the game down and play the way they want to play. I don't mean to completely stall, but they're very careful with the basketball. They don't turn it over, and they wait, and they get such high percentage shots.
Here's Josh Wack. Special hello to Matt Tyner and the great people at Williams Comfort Air. They do all our heating, cooling, and plumbing with Mr. Plummer. And they also take care of Channel 40 GM Keith Passon's house. Done a great job. Williams Comfort Air. That's Josh Wack. Wack is number 4, and as you said, the Greyhounds in no great hurry.
That's the 9th pass in this possession. And why not? You know, they're not holding the ball, but they're still cutting, they're still screening, they're trying to drive.
A near steal.
They get an opening, they finish.
And Waddell slams it through, and now the lead is up to 19.
We saw that 2 or 3 times in the semifinal game last night when Brian Waddell gets to the basket. He doesn't take any chances. He finishes.
Timeout. We're going to take a break this third quarter. Brought to you by Hoosier Village, supporting all levels of care. The Greyhounds by 19 on the high school basketball game of the week on TV 40. Back to the third quarter, brought to you by Hoosier Village. 80 new independent and assisted living apartments this week opening. Here is Braden Smith. Over to Di Pasquale. There's a whistle. And a foul at Andy Moore Kia, a fresh lineup. The Telluride, the K5ers replaced the Optima, and now the redesigned Sorrento. Joe Capitan and the great crew at Andy Moore Kia in Avon. Jets Pizza, the home for great deep dish and hand-tossed pizza. And this month, get a large one-topping pizza for $12.99. Go to jetspizza.com.
The last foul was on Brian Waddell, and that's 3 on Brian.
Braden Smith with a terrific move to the hoop.
Well, he's going to have some help in scoring. And watch this drive again on the Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling replay along the baseline. Braden Smith gets that deep. He has great body control. He's a strong guy. He's not a weak guy. And that was his 15th point.
Hoosier Village in Zionsville, the premier retirement community in central Indiana, supporting all levels of care. And they open 80 new independent and assisted living apartments this week. HoosierVillage.com to learn about everything Hoosier Village has to offer.
And Westfield's doing what you've got to do. They're applying a little bit of full court press. You got to take some chances when you're down 16 points halfway through the third quarter. You got to put the pressure on, and you got to speed your offense up. And they've done that the last 2 possessions.
Here's Josh Wack.
The negative thing for Westfield is Carmel's still safe with the basketball, and they just don't get in a hurry. And the clock's running, and so, you know, it looks like that Coach Ryan Osmond's going to take a timeout. He saw something he didn't like.
Trust Westfield Tire and Muffler to repair your vehicle. Their certified auto service repair technicians have years of experience with everything your vehicle might need, from an oil change to a complete engine overhaul. Visit Westfield Tire and Muffler at 199 Maple Street in Westfield, on social media, and at westfieldtire.com. Well, we're heading into the air conditioning tune-up season. Have you scheduled your tune-up appointment? Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has a spring tune-up special for $69. Visit summersphc.com and learn more about summer specials, and be guaranteed your family will stay cool this summer.
Coach Osmond's been at Carmel 4 years. Outstanding record, 86 wins, only 18 defeats, with a state championship in there. He's assisted by an ex-player of mine, former player, I should say, Walt Moore, still a good friend. Stay in touch with Walt quite a bit.
Walt's been in coaching a long time.
He spent 20 years on the bench with Doug Mitchell down at North Central, and was very, very valuable.
Charlie Williams following his own shot in close, and he's using that height advantage. He's 6'10". He's using it to his advantage. There's Braden Smith spinning and twisting, putting on a show, firing. That pass was a little too hot there, I think. Firing in close.
A rare fast break by the Greyhounds.
And Connor Joya drawing a foul.
We're talking about Charlie Williams. He's having a coming out party. This is the best offense I've seen him have. He's got 14 points. Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Going to show you this drive again by Joya. He draws the contact and gets to go to free throw line. 76% free throw shooter.
At Andy Moore Volkswagen, 0% financing for 72 months on most 2021 models. Say hello to new GM Mike Tellison. That's Andy Moore Volkswagen in Avon. And on August 1st, they'll celebrate their 5-year anniversary. A new dealership, a terrific dealership. At Valparaiso University, your full potential receives their total commitment. Visit valpo.edu to apply or learn more and put your future into motion.
Joya missed both of them.
Offensive board, though, to Nick Frischi, number 31. 3 didn't go by Joya.
While Joya was shooting those free throws, Coach Osborne took Charlie Williams out. He's been working really hard, and when you get tired, a little fatigued, you have a tendency, for particularly if you're a young big guy, picking up fouls. So he's protecting him a little bit. He brought Nick Frischi in. Nick's a 6'5" senior.
Connor Joya counts in a foul. He got this step and he got the bucket.
Summers Plumbing, Heating, Cooling replay as you see Joya take it hard to the basket, lays out, and you saw the defender just come in and hit him. They called it on Van Dyke, Luke Van Dyke.
And a three-point play for Connor Joya.
He just missed 2, so he wanted to get back up there and hit one.
Smith. And he was fouled. I think it's on the floor. And we'll tell you that Andy Moore and Avon Nissan is on US 36. 5 minutes from Avon High School, month after month, year after year, the #1 Nissan dealership in the greater Indianapolis area. Pat Hurst, Aaron Richardson, Mike and Nick and the great crew, Andy Moore, Avon Nissan. That's where we got our Maxima. Terrific dealership. 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter, and the Greyhounds have opened up a 21-point lead. Smith and Charlie Williams with the rebound, had it knocked away.
Brandon Smith is a good player, but his teammates have got to help him a little bit. And I think a guy's got to step up and exert himself on offense, take some chances, take some drives, take some shots, is Cam Hafner. The last 2 games, Cam has had 17 and 18 points here in this sectional.
Beautiful backdoor cut, and Pete Suter fouled. Penley commits the personal.
Smith, Summers Plumbing, Heating, Cooling outfit. There's take to the basket by Suter, and you saw Frischi.
And he's got the first one. 1:59 left in the third quarter. Pete Suter, good free throw shooter, 80%.
You know, Pete only has 4 points tonight, but he's playing well. He's rebounding, he's playing strong defense, and that's another thing about the makeup of the Carmel team. Some nights they get 20, some nights they get 2. The main thing for them is the team wins.
That's a great point, Dave, because you wouldn't think he's got only 4 points the way he's played. He's played so well, but he's done it so well. He has great court sense, a nose for the ball, great awareness. That's Cam Hafner. That's what you were talking about, but he missed the shot. And the rebound is pulled down by Nick Frischi. On the Indiana Members Credit Union scoreboard, Carmel leads by 23. They led by 9 at the quarter and by 13 at the half.
A little frustration fell that Braden Smith was going to make a play on the ball, try to make a steal. He got a part of the arm. And I mentioned this earlier. We're now almost to the fourth quarter, and you're going to see a little fatigue. And I think Coach Sumter saw that, and he just took Smith out to give him a rest. He deserves that. He's been working really, really hard.
Now, both teams won last night. However, Carmel had a first-round bye. They didn't play Tuesday. Westfield also won Tuesday, defeating Zionsville.
And Noblesville pushed Westfield to the limit, made them play a lot harder. Carmel had an easier game last night. Plus, Westfield played the second game.
Right. Under a minute left, the patient Greyhounds with the ball. Connor Joya. We're in the third quarter. Carmel by 23. They've added to that lead in every period, as we mentioned a moment ago.
4 out of the 5 Greyhounds out there right now are good ball handlers, and they can drive the basketball. Of course, they don't ask Frischi at 6'5" to handle the ball. They don't ask big Charlie Williams when he's in there. But the other 4 guys basically are all guards.
30 is Will Leary. He has the ball now.
Leary's also a guard.
And we're down to 15 seconds. Josh Wack.
Probably see a high pick up at the top of the screen anytime now.
4 seconds. Pete Suter to Wack off the dribble. No. That's the end of the third quarter. Another terrific one for the Greyhounds. This quarter has been brought to you by Hoosier Village. Learn more about everything Hoosier Village has to offer. Visit HoosierVillage.com. The score after 3 is Carmel 44, Westfield 21. This is the high school basketball game of the week on TV 40. And tonight's fourth quarter is brought to you by Heigl Real Estate Group. Whether buying or selling, Heigl Real Estate Group is your key to fine homes in central Indiana. Hoosier Village in Zionsville, the premier retirement community in central Indiana, supporting all levels of care. They opened 80 new independent and assisted living apartments this week. Learn everything about Hoosier Village has to offer, HoosierVillage.com.
Westfield's got nothing to lose now, trailing by 23 points. Expect them to speed the offense up, take shots more often.
There's a whistle.
Nice drive there by Cam Hafner. He drew the foul.
We want to thank the great people at Jets Pizza. They fed our crew the entire week. Jets Pizza in Carmel. Fantastic pizzas, deep dish, and hand-tossed pizzas. Go to jetspizza.com. Smith out to Penley. This is a frustrating time, and a nice move by Matt Penley for the basket. I mean, look, the Shamrocks have had a great season, Dave, 18-4 coming in, and they're down 21 points in the fourth quarter of the championship game of this sectional.
And they also tied for the championship in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, which is a very tough league. They tied with Brownsburg and Fishers, but they've had a phenomenal year. Not going well for them tonight, but they'll keep playing hard.
There was some contact.
Carmel will run the clock and just, take 20, 30 seconds off every possession. It makes it tough to catch up anything when they're holding the ball.
Suter. There was some contact on Suter's last drive, but no call. And here's Josh Wack with it.
They keep the spacing on the floor, perfect spacing, high-low, and I thought Frusci had a pretty good opportunity to score there. He didn't feel comfortable with it and kicked it back out. That's the type of ball club they are. They don't force anything.
Well coached. Ryan Osborne, head coach.
And I don't care who it is in the state of Indiana. Carmel's rated number 2 in the state, by the way. But when they handle the ball like that, if they get a lead on you, you're in trouble.
And a battle inside. Finally a whistle, and we'll tell you Westfield Tire and Muffler, your Westfield Goodyear dealer, offers reliable vehicle repair at affordable prices. Westfield Tire and Muffler repairs all makes and models of cars, trucks, and vans. Find them at 199 Maple Street in Westfield on social media, or find them online at westfieldtire.com.
They brought Charlie Williams back in the ball game. The 6'10 center is having a great offensive night. Thing that Carmel has done this year, they have developed depth. In the past years, they may have played only 6, maybe 7 at the most when the game was close. Now they've developed about 7 or 8 guys that can really play.
There's Josh Wack.
And they've had experience.
Wack all the way to the hoop, and he's fouled.
That was a close call. Penley thought he had a lot of basketball. Let's look at it on the Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling replay. Got him upside the head, I believe. Got a lot of basketball, and that's what Matt Penley was discussing with the official.
Proprietors Larry and Donna Cohen of Norley Investments are big supporters of high school sports. Norley Investments in downtown Indianapolis. Larry, a proud Broad Ripple graduate. Donna, a Kokomo graduate. And Larry's mother taught at North Central for many years. Indiana Members Credit Union, a local full-service financial institution and a proud sponsor of WHMB TV 40 Sports.
2 nice free throws there, but Josh Wack, he's an 80% free throw shooter. That's the first time he's been at the line tonight. But that's another thing that they do, 75% from the line for the Greyhounds. Westfield's very good from the line. It's a matter of getting there. They're 74%.
That's a tough shot, a hand in his face. And look at Charlie Williams. I think he's okay.
He's fine. He's going to the free throw line. Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling going to show you again. Here's Big Charlie gets out in front. Not usually the 6'10 guy gets to handle the ball full court. And Westfield caught up with him and put the foul. That was on Luke Van Dyke, his second.
Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has a spring tune-up special for $69. Have you scheduled your appointment? Visit summersphc.com and learn more about summer specials. Be guaranteed your family will stay cool this summer. And an over-the-top foul on Pete Suter on the rebound.
I mentioned this might be a coming out party for Charlie Williams. That's his 15th point, and I'm pretty sure that's a season high for him. And it comes at a good time for the Greyhounds if you're looking ahead down the tournament trail.
What a great night for the Greyhounds. Up by 24 points. They lengthen the lead in every quarter. Well, Smith tried to thread a needle there and didn't do so.
Well, did you see Charlie Williams, 6'10", he went on the floor. That's unusual to see a big guy dive on the floor like that.
I think he got used to it after the last time down the court.
He's a competitive player.
Wack with a nice pass to the cutting Suter.
Looked like it slipped out of his hands. He thought he had a teammate over, but there wasn't any blue shirt to pass to.
There's a baseline jump by Luke Nass. And the Greyhounds lead is 22, 4.5 minutes to go in the game. Josh Wack. All the way, there's Charlie Williams. It had eyes.
Pretty unselfish play by Wack. He could have easily taken that shot on the layup, but he knew Charlie Williams at 6'10" had a better chance of finishing. Nice assist.
Braden Smith off balance. Offensive board to Penley. That pass deflected, knocked away out of bounds. This fourth quarter is brought to you by Hygo Real Estate Group. The Greyhounds by 24 on the high school basketball game of the week on TV 40. Back to action. The fourth quarter brought to you by Hygo Real Estate Group. 4 minutes left in this one. Little volleyball. That's a long one by Smith. And Connor Joya moves it across. Here's a whistle and a foul. We'll tell you that at Valparaiso University, your full potential receives their total commitment. Visit valpo.edu to apply or learn more and put your future into motion. Andy Moore Toyota on US 36 in Avon. Minutes from 465, minutes from Avon High School. What a selection of vehicles they have at Andy Moore Toyota in Avon. We got our forerunner there, Ben Mendoza and Chris and Stephanie and the great crew. Andy Moore Toyota in Avon.
I see Matt Penley just fouled out of the ball game. He's a senior, and it's very emotional right now, but he's had a great career. He put up 15 points in the first sectional game here. And I know, but as he looks back, he's going to be really proud. He was on an 18-4 team, and he was a conference champion.
That's a three that didn't go. And Bryce Berry gets the rebound. There's Josh Wack. Over to Berry. And the Greyhounds in complete command, as they have been from the outset. They led 16-7 at the quarter, 27-14 at the half. They'd be content to run the clock out the final 3 minutes here. I don't know if they'll do that, but nonetheless.
Well, you're going to see subs coming in for the Carmel Greyhounds. They've got this game well in hand with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Coach Osmond will give some guys an opportunity, and it'll be part of that group I'm talking about that gives them good depth off the bench.
Dave, did you think the game would be closer?
I did. But as I said earlier, once Carmel gets the lead on you early, they got you in no man's land. As big Charlie Williams continues to add to his total, he now has 19 points according to my chart, and I'm guaranteed that's a season high for him.
With authority. That slam. Off balance, Benji Welch. Williams at 6'10" with a rebound. On the Indiana members credit union scoreboard, Carmel 51, Westfield 25. The Greyhounds on the way to winning the sectional championship. We want to thank Jeff Elliott, Dave West, our entire TV 40 crew. It's been a busy week with sectional games here Tuesday, last night, and tonight. We're going to take a break. Carmel calls time. This fourth quarter brought to you by Hygo Real Estate. Carmel by 26 on the high school basketball game of the week on TV 40. Back to fourth quarter action brought to you by the Hygo Real Estate Group. Under 2 minutes to go in the game. The Greyhounds. Here's a whistle, and we'll tell you the #1 Nissan dealership month after month, year after year is Andy Moore Avon Nissan. Pat Hurst, Aaron Richardson, Mike and Nick and the great crew at Andy Moore Avon Nissan. Terrific selection of vehicles. That's where we got our Maxima. Drove it here tonight. One place, Andy Moore, Avon Nissan.
Coach Osborne has cleared the bench for the Greyhounds, and Coach Sumter's doing the same thing for Westfield, giving guys a chance to play. And the guy with the biggest smile on his face when he made that substitution was Charlie Williams, big 6'10" center we mentioned. 19 big points tonight, lots of rebounds, and was a real factor in clogging up the middle for the Greyhounds.
And for the Greyhounds, Josh Rao, number 21, checks in, a 6'3" junior.
We mentioned this earlier, but a pretty good nucleus coming back for Westfield next year if you want to look ahead. Brandon Smith's a junior, Cam Hafner's a junior, so good people to build around. Dee Pasquale's a junior as well. Replay on your Summers. Plumbing, heating, cooling. Good drive by Smith to draw the foul.
Dave, I think in Braden Smith and Cam Hafner, they've got one of the great 1-2 punchers next season.
They need to find some guy about 6'6", 6'7", go in the middle, and they're ready to go.
Right.
I mentioned they have Dee Pasquale coming back, and he's not 6'5" or 6", but he's strong enough to play one of the forward spots very well.
Well, that's well said. They've had a great year, 18-4 coming in, but they lack height. Cam Hafner at 6'2" is their tallest starter. There's Braden Smith.
Young man that's had a tremendous sectional. He had 23 the first night. Last night he had 41 and has 16 tonight against a very strong Carmel defense.
He had 10 of those 16 very early, too.
Had a great year.
Yep, he sure did. 1:20 left to go.
Carmel Greyhounds will move on to the Logansport Regional next week. And, of course, they don't know yet who they're going to be playing. One of the strong teams up there, Lafayette Jefferson, feeds into that regional.
And we will be at the Southport Regional next week. We look forward to that. We've been there many times.
One of the great arenas, in my opinion, in Indiana high school basketball, the field house at Southport.
New AD, our buddy Pete, retired. New AD at Southport.
Carmel's just running out the clock, and at this point, Westfield's okay with it. The game has long been decided, and the Carmel Greyhounds are going to be once again the sectional champions here at Carmel High School.
19 seconds to go. Carmel hosting the sectional, and in a few seconds we'll have won the sectional. There it is. That'll do it. The final score on the Indiana Members Credit Union scoreboard: Carmel 53 and Westfield 27. This is a special edition of the high school basketball game. Well, let me tell you first, this fourth quarter has been brought to you by Heigl Real Estate Group. Visit them online at HeiglRealEstate.com. And this is the high school basketball game of the week on TV 40. And once again, the final score: Carmel 53, Westfield 27. Carmel wins the Carmel sectional. Next week, it's the regionals. 3 games from Southport High School. For Jeff Elliott, Dave West, Dave Nicholson, the entire TV 40 crew, I'm Howard Kellman. Good night, everybody.